Welcome to the sixth edition of my Collegiate Gothic architecture tour of campuses around the U.S. This time, we're at Loyola University of Maryland, Bryn Mawr College, the University of Pennsylvania, and Princeton University. We'll explore all of the usual features of Collegiate Gothic architecture that are prevalent on the campuses of all four of these prestigious and beautiful universities. You'll see that each of these amazing campuses has its own unique style as we explore the features of Collegiate Gothic architecture that you are familiar with by now. Let's begin with Gargoyles and Grotesques. These are a notable feature present on many of the buildings on all of the campuses. Often, gargoyles and grotesques are whimsical, decorative, and functional structures on many Collegiate Gothic buildings. Let's focus on the University of Pennsylvania's grotesques, which are known as bosses. These bosses, or ornamental stone figures, adorn roughly 20 of UPenn's buildings around campus. Of note, the residence quadrangle dormitories, which are 39 residence houses, conjoined with the Memorial Tower entrance, has many of these bosses around its buildings. Walter Cope and John Stewardson, the Philadelphia-based architects who designed the University of Pennsylvania's campus, drew inspiration from Oxford and Cambridge. They adorned the campus with more than 450 grotesques around its campus buildings. This grotesque, located on the Residence Quad building, is a reference to Cope and Stewardson's role in designing the bosses and grotesques on the quad. Notice this figure is holding a miniature representation of one of the quad buildings. The bosses or grotesques on the buildings of the University of Pennsylvania's campus are so popular that they even have their own Instagram page. Gargoyles and grotesques are prominent and popular at Princeton University also. Another product of the design firm of Cope and Stewardson, Princeton has about 200 gargoyles and grotesques that peek over its eaves, ledges, roofs, and doorways. Not to be outdone, Princeton has its very own gargoyle grotesque tour of its campus. Grotesques can be found prominently around many of the buildings of the Bryn Mawr College campus. A majority of these decorative carvings around the buildings are owls. Owls symbolize wisdom and are coincidentally also the school's mascot. While grotesques are less numerous than on other campuses, Loyola University's Alumni Memorial Chapel contains one of the more impressive examples of a gargoyle, which can be seen atop its steeple. Another feature of Collegiate Gothic architecture is its use of quads and cloisters as a layout for the campus. Most noticeable is the way that the quads are used at Princeton University, the University of Pennsylvania, and Bryn Mawr College. Each of those spaces is used to create separation between the college and the city around it. Notice how McBride Gateway at Pembroke Hall on the campus of Bryn Mawr College uses an arched tunnel to open up to a peaceful, tranquil green space. The gates of Memorial Tower open up to form the residential quad here at the University of Pennsylvania. There are many other quads located on these four campuses. There's the Academic Quad at Loyola University. There's also Cannon Green at Princeton University. Cannon Green is an open space that is named for a cannon that is located in its center. Cannon Green is home to several Princeton traditions, including the Princeton Bonfire, which is made when Princeton beats both Harvard and Yale in football, and Class Day celebrations, which is part of the graduation day ceremony. There's Alexander Beach, a large open green space located on the Princeton campus between Alexander Hall, Morrison Hall, Witherspoon Hall, Byers Hall, Blair Hall, and Campbell Hall. It's a popular outdoor space for student gatherings, events, and other recreational activities. Another tree-lined open space on the University of Pennsylvania's campus is Locust Walk. It's a central gathering space as well as a primary walkway connecting the east and west parts of campus. The Perelman Quadrangle, or Penn Commons, is an outdoor plaza centered around Houston Hall and College Hall. It has seating and an amphitheater. It's a very popular place for social, cultural, and recreational activities. The College Green, another open green space on the UPenn campus. Located in the center of campus, the College Green on UPenn's campus is very popular for many outdoor events. These arched tunnels open to a small quad or cloister formed by Holder Hall that makes up Rockefeller College at Princeton University. This quad creates a private space for a residential community, Rockefeller College. There are several of these small quads or courtyards or cloisters on the campus of Princeton University that form residential communities or colleges: Whitman College, Butler College, and Mattey College. Here we see a cloistered courtyard known as the Cloisters at Bryn Mawr College, a direct influence of the architectural firm of Cope and Stewardson. Bryn Mawr College has this small, private, secluded space built right into its campus behind the old library. This space is modeled directly after the cloisters of Oxford University. In keeping with the tradition of Collegiate Gothic architecture, the exteriors of most all of the buildings on these four campuses were built using locally quarried stone. Maryland fieldstone for the buildings of Loyola University, Wissahickon schist for all of the buildings at Bryn Mawr campus, Wissahickon schist is also used in some of the University of Pennsylvania's campus buildings. And we also see red brick used at the University of Pennsylvania's campus. And we'll discuss the reason why a little bit later in the video. Locaton argillite or Princeton stone is used for most of the buildings on the Princeton University campus. Now, turning to Memorial Tower on the campus of the University of Pennsylvania, which is entirely constructed in red brick, along with all of the other buildings on UPenn's campus constructed after 1901. You see, in 1894, John Stewardson, one of the two architects from the team of Cope and Stewardson, traveled to England. According to Dr. David Brownlee, UPenn professor of art history and distinguished scholar of architectural history, Stewardson visited Cambridge University and saw that Cambridge, especially the Tower Gate at St. John's College, was constructed with brick, and he decided to shift to using brick as the exterior of the buildings, and thus all the buildings on the University of Pennsylvania's campus constructed after 1894 have red brick exteriors rather than the local Wissahickon schist. The arch. The arch as a feature of Collegiate Gothic architecture is well represented at each of the four campuses. We see every kind of arch, from the pointed Gothic arch with lush foliate cusps to round arches and elliptical arches. But perhaps the best use of the arch, particularly on the campuses of Princeton University and Bryn Mawr College, is its use as an arched tunnel. The architects elaborate the arch to create ribbed vaults to form wider spaces, giving the tunnels and walkways on campus more visual appeal and allowing them to function as sheltered walkways. These ribbed vaults give the tunnels and archways on campus the resemblance of the nave of a Gothic cathedral. Battlement rooflines, used originally to fortify medieval castles, are a feature of Collegiate Gothic architecture, and we see these on all four of the campuses visited. The battlement rooflines give the buildings on the campus the appearance of being medieval castles right there on their grounds. Another feature of Collegiate Gothic architecture is the use of buttresses. Buttresses are large exterior stone supports that are seen outside of many of the buildings, mostly now for decoration. They can be seen on practically all of the buildings on the four campuses visited. Finials, the ornate carvings and decorations that top the gables and spires of many buildings, are a feature of Collegiate Gothic architecture. We see examples of finials on many buildings on these 4 campuses. Windows were a very important part of the original 12th century Gothic architecture, as they allowed a large amount of light inside buildings for the first time. Gothic windows included many things to allow the maximum amount of light possible inside buildings. Things such as using tracery to allow large window panes to be fitted together, bay windows to add more space for windows, and quoining around the windows to support these large window panes. We see all of these in the Collegiate Gothic architecture, largely for aesthetics. Nevertheless, bay windows, window tracery, and quoining are features of Collegiate Gothic architecture that we see on all of these campuses. Well, we've reached the end of our Collegiate Gothic tour. I hope you've learned a little more about Collegiate Gothic architecture and can recognize the features of Collegiate Gothic on the 4 campuses we visited: Bryn Mawr College, Loyola University of Maryland, Princeton University, and the University of Pennsylvania. Please stay tuned as I prepare to visit more colleges and universities that are built using Collegiate Gothic architecture.